Well, greetings, Boise State fans. Welcome on in Bronco Nation News Live, an early edition here on a Monday morning as football practice is going on about 8:50, so we're going to get down there for that. We got football interviews today. We got basketball interviews today. We got the All-Mountain West team for the media coming out today, leaving tomorrow for Las Vegas. Got a lot going on, and so appreciate folks for either watching us live here at 8 a.m. or if you're watching this later in the day on the audio podcast or through the social media channels of Bronco Nation News or 95.3 The Ticket. John Mallory is with us as always, Mondays with Mallory, his rowpaint.com studios on the road at his house today as we get set to make it down for football practice, as I said. And Johnny, a lot going on today, but it's a fun time of year, man, squeezing in football practice, basketball interviews before they head down to the Mountain West tournament. It's a busy day, but it should be a fun day.
You know, championship week is maybe the most underrated sports week of the calendar year, BJ. I love watching the smaller and the mid-major conferences, duke it out in their conference tournament for that one shining moment of a chance to go to the dance and, probably get your teeth knocked out in the first round. But it doesn't even matter at that point this week. It's just getting to the dance. So, yeah, that's a huge check on my box right there. I love championship week and the gambling on all these games. It's so much fun, and it's really a chance for a lot of us to see some of these teams for the first, second, third time throughout the season before a week from this morning, we're filling out those brackets, as you know. So it's a good chance to see those teams, and you nailed it, man, with football and spring football going on right now and the access that Boise State's given the local media to hang out at some of these practices and talk to some of these guys. It's a crazy week, but heck yeah, man, I'm excited for it. Thanks for having me on. I love the Monday bit.
Rudy chiming in. Good morning, BJ, you Boise media fanboy. Yeah, me and Jay Tust, Johnny, me and Jay Tust were getting bashed by the radio play-by-play guy for Colorado State. Just be thankful you guys got Bob Beeler, that he wouldn't be doing something like that. I can't picture Bob Beeler taking shots at the Colorado State media, but yeah, we're having some fun. I kind of questioned the court storming. I don't know where you are on that, Johnny. I guess after I heard about it, I was kind of okay with it. I mean, they're kids. Let them have fun. Maybe I'm just being the old crotchety grouch, but I just, I don't know. You got second place. You didn't even win the league, and they're, hoisting players up on their shoulders and playing celebration, and you'd have thought they just won the league. And so I just kind of questioned. I didn't know what was going on. And then, yeah, I got hit pretty hard by the Colorado State fans and bloggers and media, and even their SID was getting into it. Mark Ziegler from San Diego State, they were ripping on him because he pointed out that was another missed call at the end of a game that benefited CSU when Shaver got slapped, and then Jay Tuss posted the video, and they were getting into that. So I don't know. Colorado State's really working hard to celebrate that, brag about that second place finish. So we'll see what happens.
Look at you. You can't give it up, Reigns. I love you. You can't give it up, man.
I got like 17,000 hits on that video, man. So I'll post that all day.
Oh, hell yeah.
If that's what's going to work. So, no, it was just, a little fun back and forth, and that should make the tournament a little extra fun this weekend. I know the Colorado State fans are enjoying the sweep of Boise State, and they're bragging about that. Boise State's celebrating the regular season title, and maybe we get a third matchup down there in the title game.
I think that would be the sexiest draw for the league right now, would be if 1 and 2, if this thing is chalk throughout the tournament, BJ. But, he grabbed Shaver's wrist, man, and he got away with it. And maybe that's better than a slap. Maybe that's an intelligent play there. Maybe he's learned that over his years as a savvy veteran in this league. Like, you're more likely to get away with kind of a wrist grab than a wrist slap. And they got away with it. And David Roddy is a star player. Welcome to basketball, guys. On any level, superstars seem to get away with more calls here or there, and maybe that was it. I'm sure the official would look at that later and say, yeah, I missed that. But there's probably 8 or 9 other plays where he said, yeah, I missed that one too. And some of those would, hurt Colorado State, I think. But all in all, man, I hope these teams play. I know I'll have my popcorn ready because these teams don't like each other. These fan bases don't like each other. And if you get Colorado State, Boise State, I know we're putting the cart way before the Bronco, BJ. Yeah. But if you get this matchup again on a Saturday, oh, lights out, man.
Well, you saw Marcus Shaver there in the highlights take the final shot at the buzzer. And I asked Leon Rice, Johnny, after the game, like, because let's face it, that was a step back, 27-foot or whatever it was with a hand in his face. I said, what's that like at the end of a game where you want Shaver to take that shot? He's made so many of them. But the other team knows that too, and they're going to key in on him. Remember, he hit one against Colorado State that tied the game the first time they played late. So a little testy, Leon Rice, I would say, after the game. Let's listen to a quick bite.
Absolutely, we're the best. We're great at that. It's just it's a zero-sum game, and if you make them, you feel great. But I love the look Tyson got. I actually thought it was in. And then Shave. You got it in your playmaker's hand, and the ball gets ripped out, and I like to see that one.
At the end of the game now, Shaver's become the guy. It's obvious the other team, he's probably going to take the shot. I mean, is there ever a thought to how do you weigh that where you want to maybe get somebody else the shot?
Tyson the shot. I just said that.
No, the one with like 5 seconds left or whatever.
That's a good shot. I don't know if you've been watching, but he makes a lot of those.
I've seen him.
Okay.
What made CSU's guards so effective tonight?
They're good players.
Yeah. Is this going to be easy for these guys to put it behind them, or is this going to be a painful one? I mean,
no, we'll go fight. I mean, when haven't they?
What's moving forward just for the tournament now? It's a new season. I mean, just what's the excitement level to kind of start over again here?
Yeah, we'll be ready to play.
And there he is, Leon Rice, short and sweet after the game. Couldn't really explain my question to him, but but what do you make there? Shaver's the guy, Johnny. He's made 4 or 5 of those. Degenhart did have the one with 30 seconds left right in front of the bench that almost went down. Kind of a weird finish there with the missed free throws. Then the missed rebound, and they got 2 offensive rebounds in the final minute, and everyone's talking about that Roddy play and the foul. But if you get a rebound on defense in the final minute, you had 2 chances, you probably win the game. So, Shaver had the shot at the buzzer, and he's going to be the guy probably in the tournament, right? I mean, he's probably the guy you have to give it to, but the other team knows that. So I guess you just have to try to design a little better play maybe than him at the top of the key, just letting it fly.
Yeah, I mean, and Colorado State plays good D too, right? They have all year. Man, Leon wasn't happy there, man. You could just see the last place he wanted to be was hanging out with you and JK talking in the hallway there. Maybe it's just something about BJ Rains. Like when you have a tough loss, the last mother sucker you want to see is BJ Rains, man. And maybe Leon just, you know what? And he took kind of a shot at you. Yeah, he knows you've been watching every play of the team this year. And he said, maybe you haven't been watching or whatever. That's funny, man. Oh, yeah, really short and sweet. And Leon
I said I have.
You did. Yeah, you got yours in there.
5 seconds left or whatever.
That's a good shot. I don't know if you've been watching, but he makes a lot of those.
I've seen him.
Yeah, and then he followed about, okay, whatever, man. I think what Leon's basically saying, and this is basketball now. I mean, Steph Curry and some of these guys have honestly changed the dynamics, the geometrics of a basketball floor. The three-point line, whether you see it or not, has been pushed back in today's era of player. These dudes can shoot deeper than they've ever been able to shoot in this sport. And, maybe, Leon doesn't care if it's a few feet back. He knows Shaver can make it. And I think Colorado State knows he can too. But where Leon was to that Degenhart play, he got Tyson Degenhart a wide open look on the wing. They were down by 1 at the time, I think, BJ. That would have put them up 2 and in, somewhat control there. Colorado State still has a possession, but I think that was the play he was more referring to. Like we were able to scheme a good look for Degenhart. And then there at the end, I guess they just weren't able to scheme Shaver open, and way easier said than done, right? It's tough to scheme guys open sometimes, and sometimes you just got to let them play. And Marcus Shaver's proven this year, like Leon's saying, like he'll get a shot off when he needs to. And obviously maybe that's not the one they wanted at that time, but I don't know what else maybe they could have done to get him open. And unfortunate, but the game, as it wasn't lost there. I mean, there's a million other situations that they could have had.
Like I said, get a rebound. They missed the free throw and you couldn't get the rebound. There was another air ball that They got a shot. I mean, there was 2 chances in the final minute where if you get a rebound, you probably win the game. And
BJ, when the free throw you're talking about, Colorado State missing, it was the front end of a one and one. And I haven't went back and looked at it, but at the time, I remember thinking, sheesh, did Boise State realize that was a 1-and-1? Did Colorado State just get lickety-split first step on them to get that rebound? Because sometimes you forget, and late in the game, you're usually not in 1-and-1 that late in the game. You're already in the double bonus. I thought for a second, I didn't rewind it or anything. I let it go, but I thought, geez, did Boise State realize that was a 1-and-1? I think I don't know. I mean, but I wondered that by the way they attempted that rebound initially. Boise State's the best rebounding team in this league, as you know, and they certainly weren't on that particular play.
Yeah, that was a tough one because then they had to foul, and then Roddy made both the free throws, which had the play there by 3. Hey, quick thank you. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. They got 13 locations across the state of Idaho. The at-home shopping, the home delivery, the Skip app, all kinds of great stuff. So I frequent the Cuno location often. I know Johnny's been down there. So Ridley's Family Markets, think local when you think about that next trip to the grocery store. And speaking of local, the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com right there at Boise Town Square Mall. If you're heading down to Vegas for the tournament, make sure you head to the Blue and Orange Store there and get your new Nike gear, all the latest Boise State gear. They got all kinds of great stuff there, sweatshirts, T-shirts, jerseys, hats, you name it. The official stuff you're seeing the coaches wear, you can wear it as well. The blueandorangestore.com if you want to order online or check them out at the Boise Town Square Mall. Hey, I want to show the tournament bracket, but first, Johnny, the BSU women were in action last night in the first round of the women's tournament. And they did fall in a close game to San Diego State. Anna Osley had 15 points. Elliot Lalott had the 9th double-double of the season for her, 10 points, 11 rebounds. Mary Kay Narrow had 11 points. 16-2, Johnny, the Boise State women in the last 5 Mountain West tournaments. They had won at least one game in each of the last 5 years. For the first time since, I guess it's 2016, whatever 6 years back is, the Boise State women go down in the first round. So tough year for Gordy Presnell and company, but they bring back almost the entire team. So they're hoping this is just kind of a rebuilding year.
They lost too much firepower on the last 2 years with transfers and whatnot. I think folks know Gordy does a terrific job. He's probably going to the Bronco or the Boise State Athletics Hall of Fame one day, Gordy Presnell, and I'm sure the diehard women's basketball fans in this community know that. They'll give him time. They're not going to be all over him on this one down year. They'll be back, and they'll make their fans in this town proud. Gordy does a good job.
Again, the final score, they lose 65-56. They were the 10 seed. They fall to the 7 seed, San Diego State, and now the attention turns to their offseason and trying to get some, as Gordy said, get some players back from injury and just kind of retool things. But the bracket is set as well for the men, Johnny, and here it is, the 2022 Air Force Reserve Mountain West Men's Basketball Championship bracket, 11 a.m. on Wednesday. It'll be Nevada and New Mexico in the first game of the tournament. We'll see what happens. I for Boise State, Johnny, I'm scared for them for this Nevada matchup. I know people are going to say, oh, they've beat them twice. They're 5-13 or whatever they are in conference. But anytime I see Sherfield and Cambridge and those guys can light it up, this has to be, from a raw talent perspective, that has to be one of the better, most talented 8 seeds this tournament's maybe ever had. We'll see what happens, but that's going to be a good game. I think if you're a Boise State fan, you're probably rooting for New Mexico to win that game. I think Nevada puts up more of a challenge. I actually think there's an argument, Johnny, that the Nevada game for me is a scarier game than the Wyoming or UNLV game in the semifinals. Whoever were to win that game, you've beaten Wyoming, you've beaten UNLV twice. You just won down there. Wyoming, I think you'd rather play them than Colorado State or San Diego State at this point to get to the finals. So here's how the bracket shapes up. What's your take?
Look, the thing about Nevada, I mean, they picked to be third in this league. I like the Sherfield, the Cambridge. They got that transfer from Florida Atlantic, and the big fella, the big fella from Texas was a huge, almost 5-star recruit. But they just haven't gelled this year. I'm not scared of Nevada like you and others are. I think Boise State, with the way they play defense, they just flat out get out and guard you. And they didn't do this last year. They didn't play defense the way they play this year, in my opinion. So I think Boise State, if they just dot their I's and cross their T's, they're going to beat Nevada. I'd much rather them face Nevada than a Jeff Linder Wyoming team or UNLV playing on their own home floor. Could be wrong on that. You're right. I will agree with you on this. Nevada is the most dangerous 8 seed I have ever seen in this tournament. But if that's what you're looking about, I mean, okay, do you want to flip spots with somebody else? You want to be on the other side of the bracket? You want Wyoming? I mean, dude, you get Nevada, most likely your first game, and who knows? What if New Mexico comes in there with a few thousand fans and beats them? I don't think that's completely out of the ordinary. You never know. It's March Madness, man. Stuff happens. I think the only gimme would be Fresno beating San Jose State in that first round. But I guess that's where I would be on that. Nevada will play them hard, as you know. But if Boise State plays like Boise State, I think they're out of the first round.
What do you make of the rest of the bracket? You got Utah State Air Force, like you said. You mentioned Fresno, and then you're looking at second-round matchups, but there are quarterfinals, I guess, potentially of San Diego State versus Fresno. That was a game that just went double overtime, last weekend. You got Colorado State, Utah State, then the Wyoming UNLV game, then potentially Boise State, Nevada. But sets up for some pretty good quarterfinals. And then if the top teams advance, you could have a heck of a semifinals. Boise State, Wyoming, and Colorado State, San Diego State. But I think we all know those probably aren't going to be the way it shapes out.
And I will commend the Mountain West for just the way the bracket looks. We've seen some funky-looking brackets now where certain teams benefit. They're 1 and they're 2 seeds, and good for them. They want to, that's how they want to operate their league. Craig Thompson in the Mountain West wants to make it a little more democratic, I guess. He wants to give more people a chance in this thing and do more of a traditional bracket setup. That's great when you're the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 seed. Not so great when you're the 1, 2, 3, you could argue. But I don't know. As good as the league's been this year, BJ, I don't know where I'm going to find my upset outside of UNLV. And it's hard to beat a team 3 times. I don't think UNLV beats Wyoming. I got Linder finding a way to scheme and win that game. I do. Maldonado, his health will come into question. I think he's going to be fine from that eye poke. But, BJ, I don't know if I see – that's my take on this bracket. I don't know if I see like a team like going on a run, like an upset team. Like not only does Nevada, beat Boise State, but then in the next round, they beat Wyoming. And I don't know if I see that with this team, with this season. I think Boise State, Wyoming, Colorado State, and San Diego State are going to find themselves there in the semifinals, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, and they're going to put on a hell of a show at the Thomas and Mack, BJ.
Howard says BJ has been a media person to ask Rice hard questions and has made him a better coach. I don't know if I have nothing to do with Leon Rice becoming a better coach. I'll take credit for a lot of things. That's not one I can take credit for. Randall Clark doesn't enjoy playing Nevada or them in the quarterfinal. Both are capable of beating them. I still think that you'd rather have New Mexico win. They don't have as much on the inside. Nathaniel saying merciful end of the season for the women. Yeah, worst season in program history. 8-22, I believe it was. Always tough to beat a team 3 times. Thursday is the first game. He says, well, as the number 1 seed, will Thursday's game be last? It's the first game. It'll be 1 p.m. in Boise on Thursday. 1 p.m. in Boise on Thursday. Randall Clark talking about the crowd traveling, like you said. Should be fun, Johnny. Looking forward to it. Get the comment off the screen here. Should be fun, man. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun couple days. And I guess your final thoughts, man. This is a big opportunity for this basketball team. They're going to the tournament. We know that. They're going to have their name heard on Selection Sunday. Probably going to hear an announcement today or tomorrow about a watch party for fans down at Extra Mile Arena for the selection show on Sunday. That's going to be fun. So they're kind of playing, I don't want to say house money. I mean, they're in the tournament. There's not a lot of pressure, but you win the regular season, you'd like to also make some hay here in the tournament. It's going to be an interesting and fun couple of days down in Vegas.
Yeah, it's always a chance to keep the mojo going, to keep the confidence level rolling, winning a conference tournament after winning a regular season championship. You don't see the upper level teams in this country that are fortunate enough to make a run at both regular and postseason tournament championships here. And this is now Boise State's opportunity to be able to do that. So, no, They're going to go in there with the same mindset, I would think, as a team like UNLV. Hey, we're not done. We are playing our way into this thing. Don't think for a second that we can rest on any type of laurel here. We need to win this tournament. And Leon needs this for his program and this fan base because, like I say, this tournament has been the dark cloud. Wherever Leon seems to go, this rain cloud just keeps following him in the midst of this tournament. He's had some really difficult losses down there that shouldn't have been losses. So this year, hey, they've done a lot this season that's been like, oh, geez, in past seasons, they wouldn't have won that game. Oh, and now they're winning these games. In past seasons, that wouldn't have happened. Now it's happening. So, let's just hope for this fan base that that's the case for Leon and this team come Vegas, that this is the year that they get that whatever off their back and they're able to, hey, go down and contend and if not win the tournament, go on a very respectable run. And it will help your seed. You know that, BJ. If they are one and done in this tournament, then you could probably count on Colorado State and San Diego State getting a better seed than Boise, even though Boise is the regular season champions. The committee won't care too much. They want to look at where you are right now. You know that, BJ. If they're one and done in this thing, they're probably 9 or 10 seed in Colorado. Yeah, so they need to still win games if they want that seed to be their friend on Selection Sunday.
Well, if you're coming down to Vegas, join us on Wednesday, Overhang Bar. They're going to have a special cocktail they made up for us, Johnny. It's called the Bucking Buster, and it's going to be a blue cocktail for the group. So come on down to Vegas. We'll see you Wednesday night, Overhang Bar, 7 to 10 with the Blue Collar Club. We got swag to pass out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to it. Somebody asked to comment, Johnny, about football, our impressions. We don't have time today. We'll get to this in a future episode, but we're heading down to practice. Should be fun, Johnny. Appreciate your time, man. We got football content, basketball content. It's all coming.
Hey, BJ, they have a drink called the Vandal. It's a straight shot of Everclear. Bring it! Haga-laga!
Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com, and KTIK 3 to 6. You can listen to Johnny and Prater today, 95.3 FM, the KTIK app, KTIK.com as well. So have a great day, folks. We'll talk to you later.